Okay. A little shy. How do I even want to sit? I would truly hate to sound as pretentious as to say that you will never understand Mitski's lyrics the way that I do. But when exposed to the side of the internet that grossly misinterprets her on a daily basis, it's hard not to take some pride in the fact that I possess critical thinking skills. Mitsuki Miyawaki, who goes by the stage name Mitski, is a 32-year-old Japanese-American singer-songwriter that rose to fame during the height of the pandemic in 2020. Of course, her career did not begin there. She was the princess of the underground music scene for a long time before that. The album Bury Me at Makeout Creek was critically acclaimed in that small circle, and it put her on the map in about 2014. I've always been involved in those subsects of people who really enjoy music that is deep and meaningful. Mitski has been on my radar for a very long time. If we want to go even further back, they sang her song on Adventure Time in an episode. Where you don't see me. So she's always been around. Mitski's lyrics are some of the most painful and evocative pieces of poetry that I've ever laid my eyes and ears on, and for every feeling of anguish that exists in the world, she has written a song to encompass that feeling entirely. She explored the commodification of pain and beauty in her song Liquid Smooth, the pain of growing up in Class of 2013, feelings of being out of place as an Asian woman in America and Your Best American Girl. Even though she's written brighter, happier songs like Me and My Husband, there's always a hint of sadness behind every song, a single tear falling down her cheek at the end. Something you have to read between the lines to truly comprehend.
And now for something completely different.
TikTok audios only last for 15 seconds at a time, so all context of a song is totally lost within one. Sometimes audios go viral and people are suddenly disappointed that the rest of the song didn't live up to the one moment featured in the viral clip. What comes to mind for me is The Loneliest Time by Carly Rae Jepsen, where the bridge went viral.
What happened was we reached the moon.
And then people listened to it and they just didn't like the rest of the song. Other times, though, when proper context is given and a user goes and explores the song on their own, they're introduced to a new artist that they now love. This phenomenon happened to Mitski many times in 2020-ish, 2019, 2020, 2021.
You stupid.
With her song Washing Machine Heart, which, to me, it sounds the least like a Mitski song, but that's just my opinion. It also happened with First Love Late Spring, Francis Forever, Nobody, Me and My Husband, Liquid Smooth, I Bet on Losing Dogs, Your Best American Girl, I Want You, A Burning Hill. Her entire discography is probably on TikTok in little 15-second clips uploaded on those audio accounts. With a lack of context comes an ease of misinterpretation. Now we approach the grossest example of Mitski's songs being boiled down to their absolute bare bones for the sake of virality and mass relating, Strawberry Blonde. The song begins with bright guitar and exciting percussion, and Mitski sets the mood with, I love everybody because I love you. It paints a picture of a woman so in love that it's contagious, that her friends might be like, what's making you smile so much? Why are you so happy? Oh my gosh. The song's timbre never changes, and it stays bright and happy as a smitten girl writing it. The next lines are, when you stood up, walked away barefoot, and the grass where you lay left a bed in your shape. I looked over it, and I ached. There's that quintessential Mitski single tear down the cheek moment. She's so in love, but it's one-sided. She aches because she knows she can't have him. Throughout the song, she watches him and enjoys his beauty, but she always aches because it will never truly be hers to enjoy. By the way, this is probably the happiest Mitski song I can think of off the top of my head. But if you take lines from the chorus, like, look at you, strawberry blonde, fields rolling on, I love it when you call my name. Can you hear the bumblebees swarm? Watching your arm, I love it when you look my way. Suddenly you think of a completely different picture. You see a couple in love, a playful girl holding her partner's hand as they skip through a field of flowers, reveling in their mutual admiration. With context, we know this isn't how Mitski would like for it to be. She loves it when he calls her name, but it isn't necessarily in a romantic way. For him to acknowledge her at all makes her heart flutter. Such is the way when you are one-sidedly smitten with someone. I feel like we can all relate to that in some way or shape or form. For the average listener, it's very easy to hear these lines out of context and take Mitski's place. Maybe the strawberry blonde in the song is your crush. Maybe if they're blonde. If they're a brunette, try literally any other Mitski song. There's probably at least 30. TikTok is a largely popular social media platform that is no stranger to stripping emotional songs of all significance through memes and oversaturation. Some examples I'm gonna list right now. Peroxide by Echo 2K is an emotional hyperpop track about the singer's experience with racism as a black man living in Sweden. But TikTok reduced it to gay parodies and memes because he also happens to be gay. What is TikTok if not reductive? Them Changes by Thundercat is a super funky, instrumentally intense song about heartbreak that was reduced to this ridiculous debate about how an animated character would be drawn walking to the song. If you were there for that, you know how horrible that was to witness. Ooh, sorry YouTube, I can't swear. Do you see her? By the way, if you've never listened to Thundercat, go listen to Thundercat. He's an incredible bassist. Money Trees by Kendrick Lamar is part of an incredible story told on Good Kid, Mad City, recalling robbing homes and jumping people, while solemnly remembering that everybody gonna respect the shooter, but the one in front of the gun lives forever. And that song is nothing but a viral dance trend to many people. The most recent, most egregious example of this is FKA Twig's song Cellophane. A heart-wrenching and haunting ballad about her relationship with Robert Pattinson and how he never came to her aid when she was being constantly attacked by racist fans, being put down by the media that wanted to be in her position, when she would have done anything for Robert if he asked. It makes me cry every time I hear it, but it has recently been bastardized by this Miss Piggy cover. Thinking about that song from the perspective of Miss Piggy singing to Kermit is kind of funny, but it got like way too viral and now it's just a joke. Despite these super emotional lyrics, didn't I do it for you? Why don't I do it for you? Why won't you do it for me when all I do is for you? It somehow became a laughingstock. And there's so many examples of this happening that I could probably make an entire video about songs that have been bastardized by TikTok, and I probably will. But this video is about MITSKI because this has happened to MITSKI like 30 times. Before I get into Mitski's TikTok trends and rip them all to pieces, I do want to start with something positive. I do want to be nice. Songs and artists gaining notoriety on TikTok does not always end this way. Sometimes it is good. In fact, a lot of the time it is good for artists and their wallets. In fact, a good bit of the time songs blow up because of their meaning and are widely appreciated for all the right reasons. One artist that comes to mind for me is Ethel Cain, who is a very recent addition to my top artists of all time, I think. Something that sets her apart, renders her, I think, invincible to this phenomenon I talked about, is that her music is so highly conceptual and sonically different that it alienates certain people that want to derive a more baseline meaning from it. Her debut album, Preacher's Daughter, has received critical and audience praise for its high concept and amazing musicality, and a lot of what got her out there is people talking about her music on TikTok and Twitter. There were a lot of memes about, like, her being mother and stuff like that. One thing that really helped her is that she's a very online person as well, so she fed into the memes. People were like, oh, she's cool, I'll listen to her music, and then she blew up from there. Her lead single, American Teenager, even landed on former President Obama's playlist for 2022. You know how he does those year-end playlists? Oh my god, my cat. She's being rotten and evil. I'm gonna keep her here. Anyways, if you haven't heard Preacher's Daughter and you're into the exploration of religious trauma, very ethereal vocal performances, and I would check it out. It's very good. Aww. In the same vein as this, there are some Mitski songs that trended for the right reasons. Two songs that I believe go hand in hand in her discography are Liquid Smooth and Brand New City. Both songs are minor key laments about the struggles of being a woman, the societal pressure to be beautiful, the concept that women expire after a certain age, and how every beautiful woman is perceived as inherently sexual in nature. Very heavy topics, and a lot of people, not necessarily women, but people who have been affected by misogyny in their lives relate to it heavily. Myself included. Almost every TikTok with either of these songs in them is made by a woman or someone who has experienced misogyny, who's expressing the same kind of contempt and rage that Mitski is conveying in the song. Speaking of rage, another good Mitski trend comes from a clip of her performing the song Drunk Walk Home, which ends with this like really loud distortion and like heavy screaming vocals. Drunk Walk Home is what I would call a frustrated song that ends with that frustration being expelled into the world through. And on TikTok, it's used exactly in that way. The screams from her live performances are used copiously as a backing track to women's frustration, often specifically with referencing to the misogyny they face every day and venting about it. I think it's a perfect citation of the song. No notes. Boo! Different lighting. I had to re-record parts of this video due to me going off script a lot, so excuse the very obvious passage of time. I did get a MITSKI shirt for the occasion, though, because she shut her merch shop down in the time that I was gonna make this. Not retiring, I don't think she's retiring, I just think she's getting rid of the Laurel Hell merch. Do not wish retirement upon MITSKI quite yet. I'm not ready. Before I move on, I do want to talk about another MITSKI trend that was good. I am going to be brief. A while back, her song Class of 2013 made the rounds on TikTok, and the trend itself highlighted the meaning of the song very well. The song is about the fear of entering your adult life and really wishing you could just be with your mother again. Wishing you could return to that childlike state because the world is just too scary for you right now. It trended during the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken, which was a time in history where most people felt crushed and just wanted to go back to their moms. The song makes me cry because I miss my mom, and I want to go back to my mom, and I don't like having to pay bills, and I just want to start over and get to be with my mom, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. The song makes me so sad. Just know that the song was done justice. I'm so fruity.
That's nice. That's fruity.
Also, a quick disclaimer here, there are going to be some fairly large MITSKI-related trends that I don't really discuss here, and the reason being is that they're extremely neutral. Songs like Washing Machine Heart, First Love, Late Spring just kind of blew up for being good, catchy songs, and there was no real trend associated with them. Still frequently popped up on the TikTok For You page because they were so popular. So if I don't talk about your favorite MITSKI song, it's because there was no trend associated with it that was of high enough magnitude to change the song's reputation. The first trend I would like to publicly execute is the nobody trend. Nobody is no stranger to getting memed on, as it's been happening ever since it was released as a single in 2018. Now on Twitter, if there is a little clip of anyone of any cultural significance repeating any one word, there's almost a guarantee that it will be used as a reaction meme. And nobody has about 64 repetitions of the word nobody in it. So you know it had to happen to MITSKI. Soon the sound migrated to TikTok, and those who already knew about MITSKI and those who were already in her circle made jokes with it. But then in 2021, there was this trend that sprung up from it of people running away from the camera while the song plays as some related text shows why they may be running away from the person filming. It showcased red flags, stuff like that. Jimmy Fallon did it. It was crazy. After that, the song absolutely skyrocketed in popularity, with the most used iteration of the official Nobody audio having more than 368,000 posts on it, with an all audios combined total of about 461,000. That's only official uploads of the audio, not counting like sped up audios or edits with the song in it or rogue re-uploads. I would say the total of videos made with Nobody is closer to 500,000. And that's just videos made with the audio, not views in total. How many streams does that thing have on Spotify? Oh my god, it has 286 million Spotify streams. This should have been a stat that I looked up when I wrote the script. Goodness gracious. So yeah, it's very, very popular now. Now, when a song hits that level of popularity on TikTok, after the trend dies, it becomes nothing more than just background noise. A song to attach to a video with the volume all the way down just to inflate interactions. Because on TikTok, if you do that, it can inflate your engagement, especially if a song is trending. If you just attach it to the video, turn the volume all the way down, it gives you a more higher chance of ending up on the For You page. And I'm pretty sure Nobody was one of those songs for a while. It's something that plays quietly in the background now. Something that's nice to ignore. While this seems fairly harmless, you know by now how I feel about MITSKI. Like all her songs, this one is very, very poignant. Despite its peppy, disco-ish beat, it still manages to be gut-wrenching. Instead of me trying to paraphrase what it's about, I'm gonna cut to my good friend No, this is a Genius interview. about her talking about the song.
I went to Malaysia where I spent a lot of my childhood, and I thought it would be great, like finally get to decompress, except I didn't prepare for how freaking lonely it would be to just be all alone in a country where no one knows me, and while everyone else I know is like having holidays with their family and friends. I am too proud to be hysterical to other people, but the chorus Nobody was was literally me in a semi-fugue state on my hands and knees on the floor, just crying and just repeating the word nobody. And then, I don't know, I was like, let me use this pain and exploit it for my money.
Thanks, Mitski, for collabing with me on this video. Oh my god! So, in short, Nobody went from a well-respected song that got memed on a little bit to an often ignored background track just because of a trend. And I'll use this background track motif to segue into another trend I don't have too much love for, which is the intro to Me and My Husband. One thing I know from my many years as a niche internet micro-influencer is that TikTok loves a drum intro. Eats it up.
I ate him right the fuck up.
Me and My Husband happens to have a very catchy drum intro. And it ended up meeting the same fate as Weezer's Sweater Song, where the catchy drum intro gets ripped out of the song and mashed up with other songs that the app might deem better as a trending audio than the rest of Me and My Husband. I don't know what exactly started this and where the video equivalent of Patient Zero may be. I just know they started popping up when MITSKI was at peak popularity in 2020 to 2021. The internet is no stranger to mashups, and Me and My Husband just happened to be really good fodder for that. And just like Nobody, this Me and My Husband drum intro got so popular and so overplayed to the point where it just kind of sounds like stock audio at this point. It's been in so many mashups I could not even count. I would say this isn't entirely horrible though, because if you live on TikTok and you somehow never manage to hear the entirety of Me and My Husband, you will hear one of those mashups. And then one day, you're gonna run into a girl with a septum piercing and you're gonna become really good friends. And then she's gonna be like, let me put you on to some good shit. And then you're gonna sit down in her Subaru and she's gonna use her knockoff Bluetooth device and she's gonna hook it up to her Spotify. She's gonna play you Me and My Husband. You're gonna hear that drum intro in its correct context and your brain's gonna I'm gonna break up the hating and negativity with another trend that is technically like not great by the metric that I set up, but I think it's fine. A Burning Hill has, for the most part, been appreciated and lauded for its poetry by the MITSKI fandom on TikTok. This generation loves to cope with humor, which is why I think a lot of MITSKI songs kind of get the piss taken out of them. There are a lot of memes about A Burning Hill. The song begins with the line, "So today I will wear my white button down. I'm tired of wanting more. I think I'm finally worn." Where MITSKI uses the metaphor of wearing white as starting over. She blames herself for what's going on as she has been the forest fire, but she's also the forest and the witness. She has been hurt, and she's seen what's happening to her play out before. So to do what's right for her, she steps away and takes time for herself. But because of the white button down lyric, there's this like meme of often middle-aged, often fictional men with just, "So today I will wear my white button down." It's just like a meme phrase. Peter Griffin. Wear my binder today. So today I will wear my chest compressor. Who am I? I don't know. It's funny because Gordon Ramsay isn't MITSKI and Peter Griffin isn't MITSKI. The reason I think this trend is still okay is because it seems like the people that are making these memes are people that understand the context of A Burning Hill and are coping with how sad it makes them with humor by making little jokes about it. So in order to get why it's funny, you have to already know the context of A Burning Hill and know that it's a really sad song and find the irony in it being joked about a little bit. A lot of MITSKI fans joke about it because it makes them the most sad. MITSKI fans? Does she have like a fandom name? MITSKIites. MITSKI Tears is cute, like Musketeers, whatever. This was kind of a tangent, but I wanted to talk about it because I love that song a lot and I like the little memes. I think they're funny. Back to hating. Take a sip of Haterade. The cup is red because it's full of hatred. I Bet on Losing Dogs is a very sad case in which the lyrics could mean more than one thing. TikTok chose the wrong interpretation. Like many of Mitski's songs that have been anointed with the label of love song, this one is also a deeply painful song about yearning. Mitski likes to make songs listing what she wishes she had, singing from the perspective of the girl who has everything, just to subtly drop the bomb that it isn't really that way and that her life is actually quite sad, which isn't shady. I'm sure if you asked her how she felt about her life at the time of her writing some of these songs, she would agree. The song specifically begins with, my baby, you are my baby, say it to me. Baby, my baby, tell your baby that I'm your baby. Now with the context of the song, if you've listened to it, go listen to it. We know that this is romantic and pining and all types of like very emotional, especially with her delivery in the song. It's like she's like shaking when she sings in like an emotional about to cry way. It's very beautiful. But I already went on a rant about how context doesn't matter on the Clock app. So people use this song and this cute comedic country style cover of it.
My baby, my baby.
It's like a little bluegrass I Bet on Losing Dogs cover. They use it to post pictures of their cats, of their dogs, of their lizards, of their human children, of their boyfriends. They're babies! They're babies! Say it to me, it's their baby.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Which is inherently cute and sweet, and I kind of don't mind, because it's cute and sweet and lighthearted, and there's no malintent behind it. There's no malintent behind any of these, but this one especially is just very innocent. You already know my qualms with the removal of context and the erasure of Mitski's artistry, so we're counting this as a net negative. This is being filed as a complaint in my book. Oh god, here we go. Alright, we made it. I get to talk about it now. The thing that inspired me to make this video. Something that has filled me with so much rage. The harbinger of destruction. All four horsemen of the apocalypse at the same time. The bane of my existence, the princess of AliExpress and Shein, Strawberry Cow. In 2020, the word cottagecore started to be thrown around as a buzzword. Wikipedia defines it as an internet aesthetic popularized by adolescents and young adults celebrating an idealized rural life. Living life in a cottage far away from civilization, harvesting your own food, caring for livestock, drying your laundry on a clothesline, wearing a linen dress and an apron while you're just ripping carrots out of the dirt. Ugh. That's the simple life, I guess. And the simple life is what people yearned for after being forced to face the harsh reality of a government that didn't care about their health and safety as much as it cared about profits in 2020. It was group escapism in the internet. Mostly TikTok, but like the internet. Mitski was about to reach her highest peak of popularity, and Strawberry Blonde was going to carry her there. Remember Strawberry Blonde that we talked about like half an hour ago? Yeah, it's this song. It started to get really popular amongst people who adopted the cottagecore aesthetic because the instrumental and the visuals that the song produces were very in line with the aesthetic. And then the first plane struck the tower in July 2020 when the original Strawberry Cow parody hit TikTok for the first time. Look at you, Strawberry Cow. You make me go well. I love it when you move my name. Ooh. I deserve 5 years in prison for that alone. This thing took off! Like, it took off! It was so popular at the time that there was even a spin-off of it. I would say this was inspired. There was this strawberry-themed dress that started to go viral because people were so obsessed with Strawberry Cow, and they're like, oh my god, strawberry dress. And now the strawberry dress is getting dupes made of it on Shein, Alibaba, all that stuff. There's all this Strawberry Cow merchandise that comes in on like drop shipping companies and stuff like that. And big companies started taking advantage of it. There is a Strawberry Cow Squishmallow. There is a Strawberry Cow Pillow Pet. There's a Strawberry Cow whatever is the off-brand version of those two things that I just listed. And then the spin-off parodies. Strawberry Frog. There's Strawberry Dog. There's Strawberry Cat. There's Strawberry Bee. There's Strawberry Moth. There's Strawberry dumbass cringe animal. If you look it up, it probably exists. And there's like hour-long compilations on YouTube of all of these little animal parodies. It went nuclear, you guys. nuclear. And we might think it's cringe now, but like, it seems very, very harmless. Like, it's like the parody equivalent of a puppy in a stroller. It feels like there should be no reason for me to be this upset talking about Strawberry Cow, but the discourse surrounding it and the original song's popularity are part of an entirely different and much heavier side of Mitski's art being misinterpreted. An artist's work reflects their life and their personal experience. A piece of them will always live in the art itself, no matter how it's interpreted. Interpretation is a huge part of consuming art, and the way each person interprets it gives it new meaning over time. But no matter how many times it is interpreted, there will always be one true meaning behind it all. Mitski is an Asian American woman. Therefore, her struggles are very unique to her and those who have shared her experience. A lot of themes of yearning in her songs stem from the fact that she feels or felt as if she was the other, different from people around her. And in her case, she was. She studied studio composition at SUNY Purchase, which is a PWI. That stands for predominantly white institution. So she was mostly surrounded by and attempting to appease people different from herself. Let's just stop sugarcoating it. White people. She often expresses the want to be like them and a frustration at a lack of acceptance or belonging. Strawberry Blonde is one of these songs where the object of her affection is a white person that overlooks her, presumably because of her race. In the second verse of the song, she says, "You tell me you love her, I give you a grin. All I ever wanted was a life in your shape. So I follow the white lines. I follow the white lines. Keep my eyes on the road as I ache." Yes, in the verse, she is talking about driving a car, but there's a lot of deeper meaning there. There's a lot of white lines to read between. It's a very poignant and upsetting struggle that she's facing here in this song. And to me, making this song the theme song for a white-dominated aesthetic inspired by homesteading and a lot of colonial traditions is unfortunate. This discourse was prominent towards the end of Strawberry Cow's reign on TikTok and caused the circulation of the parody to plummet, casting it to the trend graveyard within a month or two of its original creation. The discourse that I've been talking about was started by actual people of color voicing their discomfort with Mitski songs ending up so whitewashed. Because Strawberry Blonde isn't the only song that met this fate. Other songs of hers like Your Best American Girl, which is also a lot more obviously about race, ended up getting whitewashed like this. White people have a lot of art out there to relate to, but people like Mitski and other people of color really don't have the same privilege. Relegating Mitski to a white-dominated aesthetic and erasing the context of themes of race and lack of acceptance is a huge slap in the face to people facing the same issues she sings about. Strawberry Blonde isn't just about your crush not liking you. It's about your crush overlooking you completely because he wants to date a white girl. Strawberry Cow further contributed to the infantilization of this song, which is why it is a huge hit to the song's reputation as a whole. It would not be a far leap to guess that most of Mitski's fan base consists of white teenagers, which is why a lot of her songs end up interpreted this way. Feeling undesired because of your race is not really something that white people experience, but if you can't relate to a song that you like, you can invent a new interpretation that opens it up to include you. While in other applications, like listening to a song about a girl and pretending it's about a boy or vice versa, it can be harmless, but in this scenario, it kind of steps over a line that shouldn't be crossed. It erases a very important theme of the song. People of color should be allowed to have their own pieces of art to relate to. They should be able to have outlets for their specific kind of pain. While white people can enjoy these songs, that could even be your favorite Mitski song. One of my favorite Mitski songs is Your Best American Girl. But the larger context of it should not be forgotten, and the sanctity of her art and her pain should be respected. I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. You're watching this video, you can tell that I myself am a white person. I would like to take a moment to say that if there are any people of color watching this, namely Asian Americans, if you would like to add any more nuance to this take, or if anything I said was out of bounds, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm very happy to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm just here to defend Mitski and promote respect for people of color's experiences. Seeing this injustice happen in real time is extremely upsetting, and I felt the need to call attention to it. But again, if I did it in the wrong way, please let me know. If you have the time or the money to help against the discrimination against Asian people in America, please visit stopaapihate.org and share the page and consider making a donation. Another reason why this loss of context has happened to Mitski, I think, is also due to her getting pinned as an esoteric indie sad girl. She very quickly joined the ranks of Lana Del Rey, Phoebe Bridgers, Clairo, Girl in Red, Lorde. She bagged this fan base of very sad, mostly teenage, mostly girls, that listen to sad music when they're sad so that they can feel more sad. Once you get added to the Sad Girl Starter Pack Spotify playlist, I feel like your credentials as an artist slip a little bit in the eyes of some way more pretentious people. You know, the ones that have the most impact on your reputation. A lot of my favorite artists live on that playlist. Hell, even Ethel Cain, that I mentioned earlier in this video, ended up on that playlist. Once an artist becomes an SGSP regular, they get sort of a scarlet letter. All their music is sad, and all the people that listen to their music is sad. But when they become happier and begin to make happy music, a core chunk of their fan base goes away. When Mitski released Laurel Hell in 2022, many fans were shocked to see that it wasn't crying, sliding down the wall, depressing. Some of the songs are a little more upbeat, and while there are some very sad tracks on there, like I Guess or Working for the Knife, the happier songs stuck out to people and were deemed bad, because apparently artists can't create good work if they're not suffering. By being shoved into this sad girl niche, the creative possibilities for Mitski suddenly dropped, because she got shoved in a box. It's not uncommon to see an artist receive pushback for changing their sound, but in Mitski's case, her sound really didn't change a whole lot between Be the Cowboy and Laurel Hell. Really, only her lyricism changed. And that was still the tiniest bit. She was just a little bit happier. And it's really strange to see a group of people who claim to be fans mourn her happiness, especially someone who has suffered as much as she has. TikTok will remove the context from a song just to create a trend. Even after I post this, I'm sure that this will continue to happen to Mitski and other artists that succeed her. It's inevitable at this point in the internet. If you watch this all the way through and you're still wondering what the point of all this was, I want you to listen to Mitski. I want you to listen to FKA Twigs, and I want you to listen to Ethel Cain. I really want you to listen. Listen to those artists that have been bastardized by TikTok trends, that have had context ripped out from under their feet, that have been made jokes and laughing stocks by the general public just for sharing their feelings to the world. Listen to their lyrics, listen to their music, find out why they're so well liked in their little niche communities. You cannot avoid your own bias when you interpret a song. And you're not a bad person for not immediately interpreting a song the way it was meant to be interpreted. But please, seek out context. Don't just listen to their music, listen to their stories. Learning different points of view is so important to becoming a well-rounded person with respect for other people's struggles and other people's cultures and other people's lives and other people's stories. If the context of a song is highlighted, perhaps it might be less relatable to you, but it might reach someone that is struggling and needs someone to relate to. The artists do their jobs by putting their hearts on their sleeves and creating amazing works of art. And now it's your job as a consumer of fine art to listen. Thank you so much for watching this all the way to the end. Oh my god. I've never made a video essay before, and I feel super strongly about this subject, and I really wanted to give this a shot. Video essays are just like long form content in general is something that I really enjoy consuming. And while there's a lot of work to be put into it, I like being detailed. If you want to see more of this from me instead of the normal short form low effort content I make over on TikTok, clicking the like button is the best way to let me know. Also, by subscribing and hitting the bell, you'll be the first to know when I get possessed to make another one of these. I'd like to make more of these in the future when I feel possessed to talk about something in depth like this again. And I'm hoping my motivation for this wasn't just like lightning in a bottle. If you want to keep up with me, I'll put all my socials on screen over here. And if you aren't familiar with me and you're just finding me out from finding this video on YouTube, hi, great. My name's Danny. I make music too. I'm in an emo band and stream my music. Listen to my story. My stuff's annotated on Genius. Ooh, they're annotated on Genius. Ooh. Ooh. I'll also put links to all of these in the description, and I will link to the charity I mentioned earlier, stopaapihate.org, in the description. There is a GoFundMe on that page for a mass shooting that happened recently, and I highly encourage you to donate if you have the funds to do so. Thanks so much for coming. I will see you next time. DannyBot, power down. Bop.